I'd like to call the January 17th, 2023 Board of Commissioners Business Meeting to order. As always, we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, and this evening, our Deputy Chief, Ted Kiola, will lead us in the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Deanna, will you do the roll call, please?
Denise Hall, President.
Here.
Liz McNaney, Commissioner.
Here.
Ruth Damsker, Commissioner.
Here.
Sandra Zadell, Township Manager.
Here.
Megan Weaver, Assistant Township Manager. Nicole Fight, Township Solicitor.
Here.
Isaac Kessler, Township Engineer.
Here.
David Duffy, Chief of Police.
Here.
Nathan Crittenden, Finance Director.
Here.
And it is noted that Catherine Carter and Martha Similaro, both commissioners, are absent, as well as Zoning Officer Van Reeker.
Thank you, Deanna. Nicole, were there any executive sessions?
There were not.
Thank you, Nicole. I'm now going to turn it over to Chief Duffy and Deputy Chief Kiola.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Hall. My name is David Duffy. I'm the Chief of Police of Upper Gwynedd Township. With me is Deputy Chief Ted Kiola. For the many guests, family members, and friends who've joined us here tonight for the awards recognition and for the swearing-in ceremonies, thank you very much for being here. It does mean a lot to us. Our mission is to perform police services in a highly professional and ethical manner in partnership with the community we serve and to whom we are accountable. We carry out our mission with 4 core principles: dedication, integrity, fairness, and courage, with integrity being the cornerstone of those principles. Our motto is community first. We use that as a decision-making model for everything we do, community first. Before we get to the swearing-in ceremony, we have a few commendations to award. First, I'll mention Officer Romanowitz. Michael Romanowitz couldn't be with us tonight, but he was recently recognized for his efforts with recruitment. He obviously got us some good candidates, which you'll hear about in just a moment, and for his efforts in field training program. We're also recognizing Officer Minju Kim and Officer Brent Whistler and Officer Matt Toro. For that, I'm going to turn it over to Deputy Chief Kiola.
Got to put my readers on. I'd like to call up Officer Brent Whistler.
Brant, if you have any family, make sure they get to come in through the crowd too. I think I see some. Yeah. There's some that obviously look like they belong to you.
Officer Brent Whistler is being served a Meritorious Service Medal. Whereas on March the 18th, 2022 at 02:59 hours, Officer Brent Whistler responded to an officer assist call in Upper Providence Township for a subject who was actively shooting at police. Troopers from the Pennsylvania State Police and numerous officers from throughout the county also responded. Because the scene was still active when Officer Whistler arrived, there was no formal command post set up yet. Whereas an experienced patrol officer and member of the SWAT team, Officer Whistler took it upon himself to organize several officers into a team to deploy with the county armored vehicle in search of the suspect. Officer Whistler's team provided cover on a position where the suspect was attempting to hide. Upon the arrival of the other SWAT members, the suspect was safely taken into custody while Officer Whistler maintained cover on the suspect. Therefore, Officer Brant Whistler is awarded the Meritorious Service Medal for his leadership at a critical and dangerous police incident and performance that has significantly exceeded standards and enhanced the reputation of the police department. This day, the 11th day of January, 2023. I'd like to call up Officer Minju Kim. Officer Minju Kim is receiving an official commendation. Whereas on December the 1st, 2021 at 10:56 hours, a female township resident and her parents met Officer Minju Kim at the station to report ongoing harassment by the female's estranged husband. The harassment included, but was not limited to, texts, voicemails, blackmailing, and threats. Whereas Officer Kim conducted an in-depth investigation that was time-consuming, complicated, and involved search warrants and several interviews, the suspect was arrested for several serious charges, including ones related to blackmailing, distributing material containing sexual content, stalking, theft by extortion, and others. Throughout the investigation, arrest, and prosecution, Officer Kim spent time with the victims, kept them updated, and made sure they had access to victim services. Therefore, Officer Minju Kim is recognized and commended for his actions in professionally handling this complex investigation and the arrest, as well as treating the victims with care and compassion, which improved the reputation of the department and our relationship with the community we serve. Presented with this honor, respect this day, 11th January 2023. And we'd like to call Matt Turo. And Matt's being called up for 10 years of service. Some of Officer Turo's accomplishments here in the department: he is a field training officer. He is one of the county's 2 drug recognition experts. He's on the county drug task force. He's the officer in charge of our newly canine unit. He's received numerous commendations. He has won Meritorious Service Medal, and in 2018, he was Officer of the Year. Matt, congratulations on 10 years of experience.
Thank you, Deputy Chief. Tonight, we're swearing in 3 new police officers: Andrew Profit, Elisa Bonanno, and Andrew Stekanovich, badge numbers 65, 66, and 67, respectively. Commissioner Hull will formally introduce them and read their backgrounds in just a moment. My predecessor, Chief Robert Freed, did a lot of good things for this township, for the police department, and the community during his tenure here as a police officer, sergeant, and as chief of police. Probably his most noteworthy accomplishment is under Chief Freed's leadership. We became an accredited department in 2005, and we since maintained that accreditation. And in 2020, we're recognized by the Pennsylvania Law Enforcement Accreditation as a premier agency for having successfully passed 5 reassessments with no issues. We have another one coming up this June. Fingers crossed, we'll slam dunk for a 6th. Chief Freed also designed our police station. For the many guests and other people here who are here for the ceremonies, you're invited to come over afterwards. If you haven't been there already, it's a really nice, well laid out station. And Chief Freed also designed our badges. So our badges are not his design, and they are copyrighted. We are one of only 3 departments in the country who wear this particular badge. The other 2 paid the township a small fee to copyright them and wear them also. And they're a beautiful design. The badge obviously represents a lot of things: authority and power to enforce the law, the power to, without prior judicial review, deprive somebody of their liberty, of their rights and freedom, and if necessary, in defense of others, their life. The badge represents protection. It's commonly referred to as a shield. And since the time human beings were able to create and carry shields, 90% of people being right-handed, their weapon was in the right hand, the shield was in the left hand, and this is why the badges are worn on the left side of our uniform. But for Andrew, Elisa, and Andrew, you should know that for our department and many others, the badge represents trust, the trust between you and the community, the trust that I expect each one of you to earn every day, on every interaction, on every traffic stop, every call. We continue to earn that trust. You each come to us with training and education in criminal justice and law enforcement. And Elisa and Andrew Stekanovich, you also come with experience. You're going to be going through a rigorous field training program. Over in the meeting room next door, there's stacks of books for your first day tomorrow. And that's just the beginning. You're going to be given written tests. You're each going to be with field training officers for at least 45 12-hour shifts before you're even allowed to ride in a police car on your own. And then you'll be in what we call mirror patrol, where there'll be another officer, a senior officer assigned to your zone for a while until we kick you loose entirely as an independent officer. In addition to earning that trust I talked about, I want you to ask questions, not questions just on what to do or how to do something. I want you to ask why. I want you to take your experience in education and look at the way we do things. And if there's something that you think we can do differently or better, I want you to speak up about it. I want you to challenge us. Maybe not on the first day, maybe not the first month. But we're not going to remain a good police department if we don't listen to people's suggestions, especially the people we've invested in hiring. So please do that. So with that, I'd like to call the three of you up. And Commissioner Hall, if you could please read their backgrounds.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Andrew Profit is a resident of Jenkintown. He graduated from Temple University in 2019 with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. He graduated from Montgomery County Police Academy on December 14th, 2022. Alicia Bonanno is a resident of Harleysville. She graduated from Quakertown High School in 2017 and Temple University Police Academy in November of 2020. She was hired as a part-time police officer in Telford Borough in December of 2020 and has been working there since. Chief Floyd has high praise for her performance and said she is very community-oriented. Andrew Sakanovich is a resident of Towamencin Township, where he lives with his wife and 3 young sons. He has an associate's degree in criminal justice from Montgomery County Community College, a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Newman University, and he is a graduate of the Montgomery County Police Academy. Andrew worked as a police officer for Philadelphia Housing Authority from 2013 to 2017 and South Whitehall Township since 2017.
Thank you very much. And Chief Floyd from Telford, sorry, but you know, had to take her. With that, if you could please have your family members come up, give out the Bibles, and I'd like to introduce the Honorable Susan Leonard, our Magisterial District Judge.
Chief, of these two gentlemen, who's who? Is this Prophet? It's kind of confusing because you're both Andrew, right? So you're Prophet. Okay, thank you.
It's been confusing. Come on up. Microphone on?
What number are you?
Well, they can probably hear, but it's like recorded, so we
We have to?
have no time. Well, listen.
All right, hello. All right, if everybody would put their left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. And then repeat after me, and when I say your name, say your name. I, say your name. Okay, say it loud so everyone can hear.
I, Andrew Prophet,
Okay. Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey,
obey,
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and the ordinances of Upper Gwynedd Township
and the ordinances of Upper Gwynedd Township,
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic.
I will bear true faith
I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and enforce the law
and enforce the law
without consideration
without consideration
to a person's race,
to a person's race,
color,
color,
gender,
gender,
religion,
religion,
sexual orientation,
sexual orientation,
age,
age,
nationality,
nationality,
ancestry,
ancestry,
handicap,
handicap,
or disability.
or disability.
I, your name,
I, Andrew Prophet,
do further solemnly swear
do further solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I take this obligation
that I take this obligation
freely
freely
without mental reservation
without mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will faithfully discharge
that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of police officer.
the duties of a police officer.
Congratulations.
All right. I guess we lucky person. All right.
You know you're getting old when the police officers are younger than your children, right?
We can do like family shots and then like a whole group shot. You guys want? Oh, family's in it too.
She's going to be a lot of fun.
Attention. Present arms.
Okay. That's yours. Oh, that.
Yeah. Oh, when they're doing, no, because we're doing all this stuff then, like about Bible and all that stuff here. And that's good. Good thinking. All right. I'd like to call it up. Well, for the last time, I'll be saying it for a while. Officer Harrison Culture, William Moriarty, and Robert Pro. So tonight we have the privilege of also swearing in 3 new sergeants. As you'll hear in their backgrounds, they have a wealth of experience and training, and they've already been serving in leadership roles. Tonight further solidifies that and makes it a formal rank for them, and I'm excited for what they're going to bring to the table at this next level. I didn't prepare quite as many comments for you guys. I'm confident you're going to do a good job, and welcome to the dark side. So with that, Commissioner Hall, please.
Sure. Harrison Coulter has been with Upper Gwynedd Township since 2002. He has served in the Patrol Division and has been an officer in charge since 2009. Coulter has been a member of the entry team of Montgomery County SWAT, Central Region, since 2008. He was a field training officer from 2005 to 2020. Coulter currently serves as a rapid response coordinator for the department and has served on the County Drug Task Force and as a member of the Bicycle Unit. Coulter is the recipient of several official commendations, 3 meritorious service medals, and the Medal of Valor. William Moriarty has been with Upper Gwynedd Township since 1999. He has served in the Patrol Division and has been an officer in charge since 2001. Moriarty has been a member of the Montgomery County Major Incident Response Team, Bike Unit, since 2004. He serves as a defensive tactics instructor and the Motorcycle Unit Coordinator. Moriarty is the recipient of several official commendations, 2 meritorious service medals, and the Medal of Valor. He was nominated by his fellow officers as the 2019 Officer of the Year. Robert Pro has been with Upper Gwynedd Township since 2008 and has served in the Patrol and Detective Divisions. He has been an officer in charge since 2018, field training officer since 2016, and as the department's traffic safety officer since 2010. Pro is the recipient of several official commendations and the Medal of Valor. He was nominated by his fellow officers as the 2011 Officer of the Year.
Thank you very much. Your Honor.
You want to introduce?
Right, the family member, come on up.
Doing these
Oh my gosh.
individual, right? Okay, okay. All right. Everybody's ready? Everybody's ready? Yep. Right hand, raise your right hand, and then say your name after I say your name. I say your- do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and the ordinances of Upper Gwynedd Township against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and enforce the law without consideration to a person's race, color, gender, religion, sexual orientation, age, nationality, ancestry, handicap, or disability. I do further solemnly swear that I take this obligation freely, without mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of probationary police sergeant. Okay, congratulations. Good job. Good job. Congratulations. All right, I'm gonna say 2 words while you. I'm sorry? Oh, I'd like to let them get their badges, of course. No.
I didn't get a box of badges in the mail today, so right now they're getting the deputy chief sergeant badges. Right over to you. I'll give you the mic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just stand up. Yeah, I think it'd be nice. Yeah. Harry and Bill. Harry and Bill. Going to turn the microphone back over to the Honorable Susan Leonard for some comments.
Thank you. So these comments are really directed to the newbies here. I've had the privilege of being the judge for Upper Gwynedd the past 5.5 years, and I've come to work with all of these gentlemen and ladies and have the utmost respect for them. So you're in a good group of people. But I just want to give you some words of wisdom and some things that my colleagues passed along to me, okay? All right. You have just been sworn in as new police officers, and you now possess a power that is and should be sparingly and carefully given in a free society. The power to detain your fellow citizens, the power to search, the power to arrest, even the power to use deadly force under appropriate circumstances. The exercise of such power carries enormous responsibility, and it is for this reason you have undergone a rigorous qualification process aimed at finding those few individuals with the requisite moral, intellectual, emotion, and physical qualities to qualify as an Upper Gwynedd police officer. Always remember, public respect for law enforcement is achieved by your integrity, impartiality, sense of fair play, conscientious attention to duty, and simple courtesy. A courteous police officer or judge is one who has a calm assurance of his or her authority. As integral parts of the judicial system, we cannot achieve public esteem simply by wearing our respective uniforms. Although we both take oaths of fidelity to the law, judges are not members of the law enforcement team. It is important that the judiciary be independent of the police and that we be perceived by the public to be independent. Remember, it is not enough that we do justice. We must appear to do justice, or the public will lose respect for us. Our citizens rightly demand that we have high principles and act impartially with courage, integrity, and restraint. The honor of serving our legal systems presents us with great challenges and great opportunities for service. I look forward to working with you in the years ahead to meet that challenge. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. It's my pleasure to introduce now Chief Shane Wheeler of the Volunteer Medical Service Corps. Chief, if you can come up. I've asked him to close out our ceremony. And again, I want to thank everyone who attended this evening. And when Chief Wheeler's remarks are done, invite you over to the station, please. You could stay for the township meeting, but we have cake. So I think, you're better off there. Chief Wheeler, I had the pleasure of meeting him about a year and a half ago during his hiring process. He's the first full-time paid chief of VMSC. He has done an outstanding job. I've never seen an individual transform an agency and commit to the public safety of the North Penn community and now beyond into Souderton the way Chief Wheeler has. He's really done amazing work. So it's an honor to have you here tonight, and thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Chief. Thanks for the opportunity to close out the ceremony. It's the first time I've done this for the law enforcement community. I've interacted with law enforcement for over 30 years and have a tremendous amount of respect for all that you do. I'm reminded of the scripture, Ezekiel 22:30. And I sought for a man among them that should make up the hedge and stand in the gap before me for the land, that I should not destroy it, but I found none. Send me, you said. Loud and strong, you bravely stand and raised your right hand to seal a covenant that you will protect and serve. You stand in that gap, reinforcing the hedgerows, fearlessly guarding against those who would do harm to the vulnerable, the weak, the elderly, and the young. Often unappreciated and ridiculed by the very people who will seek shelter behind your shield. No, you are appreciated and revered for your selflessness and your courage. Today, our sergeants reaffirmed your promise and shouldered the chevrons of leadership. The weight of this fabric is immense, interwoven by the men and women you are about to lead. I offer this advice. Lead by humility, generosity, and kindness. Be transparent, honest, and above all else, be true to the person you are today who enthusiastically accepts this responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming this evening. We're so excited to have you all, and we're so excited for these additions to our team. Get to work. But first, go eat some cake. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great evening. Feel free to leave, everybody. It's okay. We know, it's boring. What's left?
Where are you gonna look at this? He doesn't know I'm doing it. I found this like 2 days ago.
Oh no, never.
So he's right in the middle there, and then I'm down here, about 100 pounds lighter probably. Thank you. Oh, I have my own experience with that. Yeah, that girl.
Thanks, Nate.
There we go. That's a little
That's going to be
quiet.
tough to follow. Could you not feel the love in the room? I mean, sitting here at this, where we are, and watching that, I mean, that was just, I took pictures. It was just amazing to see how the pride and the love. Just,
And
Yeah.
the children and seeing the kids.
oh, the kid, oh, yeah, I was great.
It's very touching.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I think one more person might be coming in.
Gordon got stuck. Guys got stuck.
All right, back to the boring. Next up, we have the public comments. Please state your name and if you are a resident or non-resident when you come to the mic. Thank you for respecting the 5-minute rule and practicing decorum. Our goal is always to give you the most complete and correct answers to your questions from our staff who are experts in each of their areas. For that reason, you have the option of enclosing your email address in the registry if you'd like to reach out, if you'd like us to reach out to you during the week with a full answer to your questions. We had some residents who were concerned that if we answered any question offline, so to speak, then the residents who wanted to hear the answer publicly would be left out. So we will continue to share the answers to questions that were posed publicly but were answered privately at the following public meeting. First up this evening for public comment is Carl Smith.
Good evening. Yes, Carl Smith, 815 McIntosh Way. I am a resident. And I don't think what I'm going to say is going to be a big shock to you folks sitting on the board, but this year, 3 out of the 5 will be up for reelection, and theoretically, that'll be contested. So I think it's important that we as citizens reflect on some of the decisions that you've made in the past, because it's an indication of how you'll make decisions in the future. And to be clear, the issue I want to speak about is eminent domain. I fully understand that it is a powerful and necessary tool of government. I support the fact that it's in place. I understand it's necessary, but it's used typically as a last resort, and it needs to be used in a balanced way. And typically when it's used, from my observations in my lifetime, is for the public good in development of the community with roads, bridges, water retention, things of that nature, where the government is landlocked. And when it is used, it's supposed to be used with respect to its citizens and their personal property rights. What you folks did with the Martin track was not the case. What you did is you went and you condemned a building, or you attempted to, so you could get your hands on the adjacent land through eminent domain. For what? A park. It wasn't for a road. It wasn't for a bridge. And you didn't really take into account, from what I can see, the fact that it was right between 2 parks, very close to each other. When you were asked about whether or not the development cost, what that was, and how much the cost was going to be to maintain it, we couldn't get a straight answer from you, which is typical of this board when it comes to dealing with issues that you don't want to deal with. Even though you claim to be transparent, you're not transparent when it comes to these things. You're just the opposite. So I think at this point, I'd like to remind all of us in the room of something I think all of us have heard. It's the first plank in Karl Marx's writings on how to subvert freedom is the abolition of private property rights to the benefit of the public use. So I think the question I want to leave on the floor, which my past experience proves you won't answer it, but it's to the citizens of the township, is how you handle that decision. Was it simply bungling, incompetence, or is it more like you're trying to, this Democrat board, which all of you are Democrats, aligning yourselves with the national party that governs with a socialist ideology rather than being constitutionally focused? That's the question we should ponder for this upcoming year. It certainly is a prism that all of us should be looking at your decisions through in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. Next up, we have Linda Smith.
Hi, Linda Smith, 815 McIntosh Way. I just was wondering what the status was of the cornerstone at Pembroke. Is it dead? Is it not dead? Do you know what's going on with that project? Okay. And
We haven't heard any, if there was something new, Linda, it would be on our agenda, and we would let you know, but, so we haven't heard anything, so if there's.
From what I understand, that there is a condo association there that does not want that project to go forward.
Thank you for that, I didn't know that, thank you.
Okay. And is there any news on the Martin property? I know that the tenant has been asked to leave, and so I was wondering what was happening there? Martin property, or?
We did not ask the tenant to leave.
No, Mr. Martin did.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, no, there has been nothing, no.
No news on that? Okay.
No news.
So I saw a YouTube video posted about, there was Upper Gwynedd, or I don't know who was participating in this video, but they were participating with the land sale to improve the White's Road Park. So is White's Road an Upper Gwynedd park?
It was, yes, it's technically in Upper Gwynedd Township, but at one point it was given to Lansdale Borough.
White's Road Park is located in Upper Gwynedd Township. The park is owned and operated by Lansdale Borough.
Does Upper Gwynedd own the park, or?
No,
No.
Lansdale Borough
We-
owns the park.
You gave it to Lansdale?
We did,
Well,
and a prior
like a million
administration
years
did, many
Okay,
years ago.
because it's only about 500 feet from that corner Martin property, so I just was curious why we would need another park. And last month you mentioned that you didn't know what was happening with that property at Sumneytown Pike and West Point Pike, where the bridal store was and the restaurant. Is there any news on that, or?
No, we shared that there
I
was.
mean, actually, last
permit.
meeting, I shared that there's a demolition permit for the Sumney and the bridal shop.
Okay, but there's nothing, there's nobody purchasing it or?
Well, I
that we know
can't,
of?
I mean, I can't say exactly why that's happening, but I would assume it's in preparation for sale.
Okay, but you're not aware of who's buying that?
They haven't.
Because I heard that Merck might be taking that property, but I could be wrong.
Nobody has told us.
Nobody. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to make a public comment who couldn't get through the masses? Mark? Okay.
Mark Connolly, 11 Kearney Drive in the township. So looking forward to a brand new year. I just wanted to say I was pleased to see some more information about the Dickerson Road Improvement Project. So hopefully, now I guess there's still a little bit more work to do with that. So I guess it'll be wrapping up.
Yeah, I can give you an update on that. So we ran into some issues with the utilities and had to have PICO come to move some utilities. So that's why it kind of got delayed. But we're working through those, I guess, Isaac, in the coming months.
Yeah, we're hopeful it won't take that long, but that is the last piece of it. Once some of the utility wire is underground, it's Pico, Verizon, Comcast, we're able to shift over a bit. Then we'll be able to complete the last 2 segments of the pipe to add to the drainage that was already put in so far.
That is good because I do not want to live 700 feet from an intersection that was basically a river during a hurricane. So that's generally something I don't want. So it's great to see progress there. And I was also happy to see, I guess, a grant request on the agenda as well, because I know this board has been very proactive with grant requests. And I think that's great because obviously I'd rather have somebody else pay for nice things for us instead of the taxpayers having to pay for it. So that's great. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Is there anybody else? Yes, come on up.
Hi, Glenn Hatfield, 1468 Kathy's Lane. I was looking at the Upper Gwynedd Gazette publication you put out, and I noticed you talked about 143 projects over 5 years, totaling about $25 million, capital improvement projects. I know there was 2 bridges in there, and there's a water diversion or improvement project involved with that. My question was really twofold. Is there a list of those projects someplace that I might have missed? I'm not sure if I did or not. And then secondly, is that substantially more or less than we're typically, investing in capital improvements over, let's say, the last 15 years? Let's say, I think you used a 5-year window for your investment window.
Mr. Hatfield, that document is available in our budget, which is posted online.
Okay.
All the projects are listed in the budget for the next 5 years. Of course, they can change every year at budget time, but that's the outlook that we have over the next 5 years. I can't answer the part about, what was the second part of your question?
Second part is, you indicated.
How much have we spent in the past?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like, 15 years ago, did we spend $2 million a year? Now we're spending $5 million a year.
I can't answer that one off the cuff, but I'll get back to you on that.
Okay, that'd be wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Okay, great. Moving right along, as February is quickly approaching, we're delighted to recognize the month of February as Black History Month. I'll start by reading the proclamation. Whereas in 1926, historian Carter G. Woodson established a week in February to celebrate Black History, which in 1976 was expanded and changed to Black History Month. It was officially recognized by President Gerald Ford and every president thereafter. And whereas each February we pause to reflect on the contributions of the African American community to our national and local identity, and Black History Month gives us an opportunity to learn more about this important part of our nation's story. And whereas during Black History Month, we celebrate the many achievements and contributions made by African Americans to our economic, cultural, spiritual, and political development. And whereas the 2023 theme for Black History Month is Black Resistance, and explores how African Americans have resisted historic and ongoing oppression in all forms since the nation's earliest days. And whereas the observance of Black History Month calls our attention to the continued need to battle racism and build a society that lives up to its democratic ideals. And whereas Upper Gwynedd Township continues to work towards becoming an inclusive community in which all citizens, past, present, and future, are respected and recognized for their contributions and potential contributions to our community, the county, the state, our country, and the world. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of Commissioners do hereby designate the month of February be set aside as Black History Month in Upper Gwynedd Township, proclaimed the 17th day of January, 2023. Do we have a motion to approve the proclamation designating the month of February as Black History Month in Upper Gwynedd?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any board comments? Do we have any public comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Do we have a motion to approve consent items A through H?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any board comments?
Yes.
Yes.
Rob Morse for Parks and Rec. We interviewed him. I've known him for years as part of the Nargland baseball, and I think he's going to add so much to that board. And it was a good choice, and I'm excited for him to start. I think we have our first meeting next week, so I'm excited for him to start. I know he is too, so.
Great,
it's great.
excellent, wonderful. Anybody else? Do we have any public comments? Deanna, will you do the roll call?
President Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner McNaney,
Aye.
Commissioner Damsker.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Catherine Carter doesn't have anything this evening. I will turn it over to Commissioner Damsker.
Thank you.
Sorry, now they can hear you.
Yeah, okay. Good evening, everyone. Yes, we're now on item 11 on the agenda, and I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 01-2023, and that is updated fee schedule. Upper Gwynedd Township fee schedule was recently updated in April of 2022, and no significant changes are being proposed at this time. The attached proposed resolution has only two minor recommended changes, one in the grading permit section and one in the police report section. The police report section, well, first I'll pass, all right, so I'd like to make a motion for, to approve Resolution 01-2023, updating the fee schedule.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I was going to say, Liz?
Sorry, I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any board comments? Do we have any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
All right, now I have item 12, which is a motion to approve Resolution 02-2023, and that's updating the escrow fee schedule for Saldo, which stands for Subdivision and Land Development Ordinance.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any board comments? Do we have any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Okay, the next one, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agreement between Merck and Upper Gwynedd Township for encroachment onto Jones Avenue Ultimate Right-of-Way, Clear Site Triangle at West Point Pike, and Stormwater Easement. And that is an agreement that the township has the right to, for them to remove any obstacles that would be in the way if the township needed it for stormwater or any other issue, and so it's just an agreement.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any board comments? Do we have any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Commissioner Damsker. Commissioner McNaney, you don't have anything specifically. Do you have anything else? Okay, moving on. Commissioner Simulero doesn't have anything either this evening. So moving on to our other business. Do we have a motion to approve the January 2023 open invoices?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any board comments? Do we have any public comments? Deanna, will you do the roll call?
President Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner McNaney,
Aye.
Commissioner Damsker.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Do we have a motion to approve the January 2023 closed invoice, paid invoices?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any board comments? Do we have any public comments? Deanna, will you do the roll call?
President Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner McNaney,
Aye.
Commissioner Damsker.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Does anyone on the board have anything else?
Yeah, actually, I did want to mention that I had mentioned that there was in the police section, there's proposed fee reduction. We have for the scheduled fees, and that is for reportable act, when you go to the police, if you've been, hopefully nobody's been in an accident, but if you've been in an accident, that you can get the report from the police if you want to send it to your insurance company or what have you. And we're reducing the fee from $22 to $15 to be consistent with the state fees.
Excellent. Thank you for pointing that out. Anybody else? All right. Thank you so much for coming this evening. Meeting's adjourned.